What is up? I am back with more Donkey Kong Country 2, and yeah, we're in part 2 of Donkey Kong Country 2. So that's kind of the thing. It's a stormy stage, and we're just going to keep it trucking, keep moving forward with this game, and have a little bit of fun with it. So, yeah, when I last left off with this in April, I had just come off of recently beating Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but now that it's May, I've been kind of focused inward and working on like Acidic Roots, trying to get year 6 finished off, and also trying to come up with some new ideas and stuff, as so things are not quite as formulaic. But as far as this channel is concerned, I couldn't think of anything to kind of do in the interim, because yeah, I just this crap happens, and so I have to kind of pick up the pieces. But in the meantime, I just didn't have any filler. I mean, honestly, I felt like this game was a filler just because, I mean, it's so simple to beat. I mean, most standard gamers can probably complete Donkey Kong Country 2, but unfortunately, I just am running out of tricks in terms of stuff for this channel. And so, mostly the only stuff that's really been having any life on this channel is just the movie commentaries, but I'm still trying to affirm yet and still that I like doing video games, but it's just a real tooth and nail kind of battle. But so that basically concludes the first part of the recording that I did back in April. This is about all I had left, but seeing as I don't like these to get past like 15 minutes, that's why it ended here. But so yeah, for those who absolutely don't know, basically the first time you save is free, but any subsequent time after that costs 2 coins. But the whole thing about it is if you save and quit, basically your coin count gets reset back to like 2 or whatever it was by default. That's kind of annoying, but it's kind of an incentive to just play through the whole game in one sitting. It seems like they like you doing that. Work and other responsibilities be damned, for whatever reason. But so yeah, this is the boss, Creepy Crow. I think maybe it's not Creepy Crow, it's something like that. It's like Captain Crow or something, but he's not. I mean, obviously the bosses in this game are easier than they were in the first Donkey Kong Country. And whole thing about it is once you figure out the patterns and stuff, they're really not too much of a pain in the ass. Like I've said before, Donkey Kong Country 2 is probably the easier, and it's just plain more fun also when you look about it in the grand scheme of stuff. But really the third one is the most gimmicky and kind of decisive. I can't really think of a word to utilize for that particular thing, but this is kind of how it goes. So yeah, that's what it is. We're headed to Crocodile Cauldron World 2, but the thing about it was I didn't realize how little space I had on my computer, so unfortunately in part 3 this is going to just cut out without really any abrupt getting to a save point or anything like that. So I'm basically gonna have to play through the Red Hot Ride or whatever it's called, the stage with the balloons, twice. So I just feel like I owe it the necessity of being able to do it. So, and it should be simple enough. I mean, really, like I've said, I mean, this game is just like a warm-up for most standard Super Nintendo or 2D gamers. Shouldn't really be that much of a deal. This is probably one of the Red Hot Ride is probably one of the tougher stages, but for the most part, this game doesn't really venture into that. It's more concerned with themes and, fun and that sort of stuff, just to kind of say how that kind of goes. But yeah, I've been really really been clamoring for like some videos to throw up on this channel. It's just difficult because I know I would like to have more. I feel like the more I kind of get into like rotation, the better off this channel is going to be, and I can get some regulars around these parts, and some contributors, and just some overall society to kind of have with interaction. But it just feels like this is just like a graveyard if anything else. And it's just kind of, I mean, the problem with it is I don't know if it's just people are still playing Grand Theft Auto 5 or playing Animal Crossing or Final Fantasy VII, the new version of that, or just whatever's really going on. It just seems like most folks don't have time for the Super Nintendo, which was different compared to like 4, 5, 6 years ago. It seemed like, yeah, these were the games that were thriving, but yeah, this is, me being a retro channel, it just makes this extremely difficult, so. But what I've noticed is that the animal buddies really don't show up for very long. I mean, honestly, I think the spider here is only in about 3 or 4 total stages in the whole game. Kind of like the rhinoceros. I mean, I saw him in like a subsequent stage, and the whole thing about it is he's probably only in about 3 or 4 also. There's got to be at least like 60 stages in this. I mean, 5 stages per 6 worlds. Somewhere around 50 or 60, so that's not very frequent that the animal buddies, I mean, they just have kind of lowered their resourcefulness. I mean, they're more interesting than they were in the first game, but they still feel kind of static. So, but yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the thing about Donkey Kong Country 2, is just the fact that it's just such a one-shot game. I mean, all of these, when you look at it, they just kind of did their business and then vanished into thin air. It's kind of like a Zelda game. When you mess with those, I mean, the characters that you get to know throughout the entire time playing them, they're just gone for good. Like, for example, like the blue-caped Ralph character that is basically the closest that Link has ever had to a Player 2 character, but he's only in the Oracle games. So, I mean, that's just kind of the thing. And Link could really use the help. I mean, for the most part, Link from the Zelda series is just entirely... I mean, Sheik, there's just not many assistants that Link really has. He does it completely on his own, too. And that's fine to a point, but it just kind of gets tiresome, just, having nothing to interact with. But, that's just a different tangent. I mean, it's just like that for a lot of games. I just like the idea of having, like, some bonus characters to kind of take the slack off. It really makes it for a better picture. But... I mean, that's just kind of the thing. Obviously, Donkey Kong Country Returns is the only real taste that you get still of Donkey Kong anymore, but I've never played any of those, which is really the thing. The last real Donkey Kong game I think I played ever is Donkey Kong 64, and I don't even own that game anymore. So, and Donkey Kong Country Returns, that whole series has been out for a while. It's not like it's new or anything, but I don't know, I just looked at some of the pictures of it and photos of it on the internet, and I just said, I just don't know if they have the same calibration that the developers behind this game did, the Rareware fellows. So, it's just like, But, it's kind of the same way I feel about the new Super Mario Brothers series. The original team behind the 80s and 90s Marios is just long gone, and those are the best ones. That was Mario in its prime. So, I hate when things get out of their prime. It just sucks. I'm particular about that. I notice, like, a person's sweet spot, kind of like, the Dark Knight trilogy, Dark Knight Rises was good, but I think the best one out of the 3 was, of course, The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger. That's just kind of the stuff that happens. You'll find someone in their prime, like Tupac in 1996, or Jim Carrey in 1995 or something, and it'll just you just will not get them back to the upswing that they had back in their prime, and it just sucks. That's kind of what's going on with me currently in, like, two-dimensional gaming, but... this situation there, so. But yeah, this is a vertical stage, so that's kind of the situation. It's just about that, so it's not actually going left to right, it's actually going down to up, and that's interesting. I mean, sometimes these type games do that, but you just have to. I don't know if the first Donkey Kong Country did this. I mean, this game just had so many clever ideas for it. I definitely would have given this game like a 10 or a 9.5 back in like the 90s and 20 years ago, but now, I mean, it's still a great game, but I know too much about it to really, be able to say much more than just, just a pure, just good work or something, so, let's trying to think of whatever else to really do. So I'm almost thinking about doing movie commentaries. I mean, I noticed that Electra has kind of built some steam. That's basically the 4th most popular video I have on this channel now. I mean, if we could get Electra to like 3 digits, I'd probably say, you know, I could think about doing more. But that's the thing about these is, you know, I didn't really want to be a movie commentary channel. I mean, I do like video games. It just feels like there's just not enough room in the sense of what's going on to really continue with that sort of thing. I mean, you have to, in some cases, people would say you go with what's popular more so than, you know, I mean, if you want to have a career at least, I mean, that's just the truth is, you know, if folks say, okay, we're tired of the Sega Genesis, then I guess that means you're done with it. But this is kind of, I mean, I say this all the time. I've said this plenty of times on Acid Roots, the gaming channel, is that, you know, YouTube is such a nightmare anymore. It's just not as fun as it was back in like 2016 and stuff, just because there's way too many cooks in the kitchen. We need more people that just are like, you know what, I don't want to do YouTube, I just want to work at like Applebee's or something. I just want to work at TGI Fridays or some shit like that, or Culver's, and just kind of say, you know what, being a chef, big deal. I still play Zelda, I still play Uncharted and those type games. That's all I really need. You know? But so yeah, I flew back to Gangplank Galleon because I didn't want to keep doing this and die and not have some more stuff to do. So this is kind of the remark is, you know, I basically lost 4 coins because of this, but it's just easier. I mean, honestly, you save when you have the ability, just so you don't have to keep doing these stages. So, but yep, we've got a couple more, and then we'll head into part 3. So, and Funky Kong's pretty dope. I mean, I do have a liking for him. It kind of surprises me that he actually didn't help out, because he seemed like someone who could fight. He seemed like he was fairly tough. I mean, I could tell he's really into vehicles, but, you know, just beyond that, just kind of being able to say that he probably could have been of more use, especially in the first game. But so this stage doesn't really give you a lot of time to really hunt around, and that's the thing, is there are secrets here, but you only have so much time before the water turns back into lava and you take a hit. But I mean, honestly, I'm trying to go for the banana coins also, but for some reason it just feels like it's kind of a difficulty. So yeah, I mean, you basically have to have like the guidebook in order to really find these secrets, because there's just not enough time. I mean, unless you're willing to take a hit or play the stage over, that's about the only real way that you have enough time to discover all the secrets, because there's bananas all over the place, banana coins. I think even the swordfish is in this stage. I saw that I missed out on him. So, I mean, back when I had the guidebook, you know, way before internet and YouTube and stuff, it was just simple because I just followed that. But, you know, obviously I'm not going to go dig that up. This would feel kind of awkward to use a player's guide and stuff. This is kind of, that's such an ancient word. I feel like most Generation Z cats, they don't even know what a player's guide is. Like, wait a second, you had to buy a book, you had to pay $15 to use booklets to figure out how to beat games. And if it was like a third-party game and it didn't have a booklet, then you were just fucked over. It's like, yep, you were. You know? It was only mainly just like the Nintendo-made stuff that had guidebooks back in those days. At least not until like after the PS2 came out, but it's kind of like, yeah. But even then, I mean, in some cases, when I died too many times, it's like not even the guidebook would help. It was just kind of like, hey, you know, either you do the skill set that's necessary or you don't beat the game. And that's kind of where more I got caught, more so than getting lost. But, you know, obviously this is not the game I would get lost in, but you get the idea. So, it's pretty neat that Dixie plays guitar. It's too bad that they don't show that off more. But yeah, so I can basically save again, but I'm not going to do that yet. But yeah, so this stage is going to end abruptly in part 3, but you'll see it. So, alright, subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night. and watch as we just ride the balloon and such.